Hello and welcome to another of my tutorials. Today we're going to look at making a sound like a siren from a fire engine. It sounds something like this. There are three main elements that go to making this sound work. The first is the loudness of the sound. As the engine comes towards you, the sound gets louder. And as it goes past you and off into the distance, it gets quieter again. So that's the first thing. In music, of course, that's crescendo, diminuendo. So getting louder, getting quieter. The second thing is the change of the pitch. As the fire engine goes past you, the pitch makes this change, dramatic change. In music, we call that a glissando. It's this sound. This is the sound. And we can do that sound. It's like cars whizzing down the motorway off into the distance. So we'll talk about that as well. Incidentally, that effect is known as the Doppler effect, and it was discovered by an Austrian mathematician called Christian Doppler. Our other sound effect is the pace or the pulse of the notes. Again, as the engine comes towards us, the notes seem to be faster than they are, and when it's going off into the distance, the notes seem to be a little bit slower. So we get that change of pace. Slight change of pace there. During the course of this video, I'm going to put a stop screen up so that you can pause the video and go off and play your cello for a few minutes and try the ideas that I've suggested. And by the end of this video, you should be making a fine fire engine noise. So first of all, let's have a look at the notes we're going to use. I'm going to put my thumb down here on top of this block, right in this corner, okay? And I'm going to go from 4 fingers to 1, and just make sure that those 3 fingers are coming up and going down together. I'm going to play on the A string or on the thin string, the first string. So I'm going to be going along like this. I want to do that on every string. It's a little bit harder as you go further down. Bottom string's the hardest way. So stop the video now and go and try that. I'll see you in a few minutes. Hello again. So the first thing we're going to look at is the crescendo, the getting louder, and the diminuendo, the getting quieter. Let's do one at a time. So crescendo, we're going to start in the middle of the bow and we're going to gradually work our way out towards the ends, okay, and until we're using the whole bow. And I don't want this to go on forever, so we're just going to do maybe 8 strokes. And again, I'm going to use an inside string. Easy enough to do it on the A string, but I like to practice on the inside strings because you've got to be a bit more accurate. So here we go. Start very small and very light. And that's 8 notes in crescendo. But I did hear a little bit of G in there, so I'm going to try again and see if I can not hit the other string. Okay, so that's our crescendo. And the diminuendo is the opposite thing. I think I'll do this on the G string. So diminuendo, start with a full bow. I'm going to start right at the heel, right up here. And I want to disappear away to nothing, like I'm going into the distance. So I'm going to try that again. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and come down really quickly in the first couple of strokes. So that sounds like it's really going away. And then, of course, we can try and put the 2 things together. Getting louder, getting quieter. That'll be a total of 16 notes. I don't want to do any more than that. So I think I'll just go back to the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there we are. That's our crescendo and diminuendo. So go away and practice that for a few minutes, and I'll see you later. Hello again. So let's talk about the glissando. That's the sliding sound where we move the finger. Any finger will do. Your 4th finger is going to get tired most quickly, I think. So I would practice this using one of the middle 2 fingers, or both of them, 2 fingers, like this. But we've got to couple that with a slow, quick, slow on the bow. So the bow we need to practice going slow, quick, slow again at the end. So we need to do that. We only need to do it on down bow. We don't need to do it on up bow. You can practice it on up bow, but it is a little bit harder. Slow, quick, slow. It's much harder to control a slow bow at the heel. We need to join that in. So if we put those two together, we've got the slide and the speed of the bow. Slow, quick, slow. And we get that kind of sports car sound. Of course, if we're playing the cello, if we're playing music on the cello, we tend not to do this. We tend to do the opposite. If we're making shifts on the cello, we'll tend to go quick, slow for the shift, and quick again. So if I was playing something like Beethoven's Third Sonata, I'd start with a quick bow. And I've got that big shift. If I speed my bow up through the shift, you're going to hear this. Which rather spoils the tune. So I would hide it by slowing the bow down and see what happens. By slowing the bow down, it disappears. Start with a quick bow, slow, quick again. A little bit messy. But there we are. So that's Beethoven's Third Sonata. Have a listen to it. So I think that's got the glissando covered. Of course, we've got to do it on our fourth finger, so we'll just try a fourth finger. Off you go. Practice that for a few minutes. I'll see you in a bit. So now the tempo change. This is, in some ways, I think this is the most fun. We change tempo by using more bows. So I'm just going to use the middle third of my bow. I'm going to use two hands. I'm going to hold the bow like this. I'm just going to go backwards and forwards between my fingers. And then after 8 notes, I'm going to move this finger along and use a bit more bow. You'll see what happens. So off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Move my finger. So you see the tempo changes happen by themselves. So I'll just try that without holding both ends of the bow. So just that one finger, between roughly here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. More bow now. That's fairly straightforward, but worth practicing because it's not as straightforward as you might think. You can try at different tempos. So we're going to start putting the elements together now. We've learned everything we need to know to make the sound, but we've got to tie them together to make it work. The important thing here is not to try to do too many things at once. No more than 2 things at a time. We'll put it together in pieces. How do I know it's going to be difficult? Because I find it difficult and I have to do just 2 things at a time. That way I can work quickly, efficiently. I can see how I'm doing. If there are any problems along the way, I know what they are. And I don't get frustrated, which is good. And I feel a sense of satisfaction and success because things come along much more quickly that way. So I'm going to start with the crescendo and the glissando. So I'm going to do my 16 notes, 8 getting louder, 8 getting quieter. But on the 9th note, the first of the second group of 8, I'm going to do a glissando with that crescendo diminuendo in it. It's quite a lot to think about, but I've got plenty of time to prepare for it. So here we go. Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can go off and practice that. See you in a few minutes. Time to try the change of tempo with the crescendo diminuendo this time. So I'll do my crescendo diminuendo and I'll do a change of tempo on the 9th bow. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No reason why I shouldn't put that with the 4 and 1, but I'm not going to do the glissando yet. That'll just be the only thing to add. So here we go. I'm still doing this on the D string. I should be on the A string, but I'm going on the D string for now. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you hear me catch that G? Let's try it again. So off you go, try that. So we're going to do the glissando in tempo change this time. So again, I'm just going to use my second and third finger, make it a little bit easier. So there's no crescendo diminuendo needed really. I'm just going to do my glissando on the 9th note. Straightforward enough. Let's try it with 2 fingers. And really, that's it. All we've got to do now is put all 3 things together. Of course, this is quite hard, and you may find that you need to go back over things and build it up again. Every time you build it up, it'll get a little bit easier. So let's see if we've got the whole thing. I'm going to go back onto the A string, do it on my A string. I'm going to tip my cello a little bit over to make it a little bit easier to reach. So here we go. Let's see if we can do the whole thing.